Hey everyone, welcome back to Native Speakers Channel. I'm Johnny, and I'm super excited about today's lesson because we're going to tackle something that almost everyone struggles with at some point in their career: professional email writing. You know, those moments when you stare at your computer screen thinking, how do I say this without sounding rude? Or is this too formal or not formal enough? Well, today we're going to solve all those problems. I've got my amazing co-host Sarah here with me, and together we're bringing you English Practice. Write perfect professional emails. Business English you need now. So grab a notebook, get comfortable, and let's dive into this essential skill that will absolutely transform your professional communication. Sarah, are you ready?
I am so ready, Johnny. This is honestly one of the most requested topics from our viewers, and I completely understand why. Email writing can be tricky, even for native speakers.
Exactly. You know, Sarah, I remember when I started my first corporate job, I spent like 30 minutes writing a simple email to my manager. I kept rewriting it over and over again because I wasn't sure if I was being too casual or too stiff.
Oh my gosh, I've been there too. And the worst part is hitting that send button and then immediately thinking, wait, should I have said that differently? It's such a common experience. But the good news for everyone watching is that professional email writing actually follows some pretty clear patterns and rules. Once you learn them, it becomes so much easier.
Absolutely. So let's start from the very beginning. Sarah, what's the first thing someone needs to think about when they're writing a professional email?
Great question. The first thing is always the subject line. This is so important because it's the first thing your recipient sees, and it determines whether they'll open your email right away or leave it for later. A good subject line should be clear, concise, and give the reader an immediate understanding of what the email is about.
Can you give us some examples of good versus bad subject lines?
Sure. So a bad subject line would be something vague like question or important, or even just hi. These don't tell the recipient anything useful. A good subject line would be specific, like meeting request, project update March 15th, or question about Q2 budget report, or follow-up marketing campaign discussion. See the difference?
That's so clear. The good examples immediately tell you what the email is about. Now, I want to add something here. Another mistake people make is writing subject lines in all capital letters like urgent, read this now. That can seem aggressive or like spam, right?
Exactly. Even if something is urgent, you can communicate that professionally. You could write time sensitive, approval needed by Friday. Instead, that conveys urgency without seeming like you're shouting at someone through email.
Perfect example. Okay, so we've got our subject line sorted. Now let's talk about the greeting or salutation. This is where I see a lot of confusion, especially from non-native speakers. Sarah, what's the standard way to start a professional email?
The most common and safest greeting is Dear, followed by the person's name. For example, Dear Mr. Smith or Dear Ms. Johnson. Now, here's an important point. If you're writing to someone for the first time and you're unsure about their gender or preferred title, you can use their full name, like Dear Alex Thompson.
That's really helpful. What about when you know the person better? Can you be less formal?
Good question. It really depends on your company culture and your relationship with the person. In many modern workplaces, especially in tech companies or creative industries, people use Hi John or Hello Sarah, even in professional contexts. But if you're writing to someone senior, someone you don't know well, or in a very formal industry like law or finance, stick with Dear.
Right. And what if you're writing to multiple people or to a department?
Great question. You can use Dear Team, Dear Marketing Department, or Dear Hiring Committee. If you're writing to someone but you don't know their name, you can use Dear Sir or Madam, though I always recommend trying to find out the person's name, if possible. It shows you've done your homework, and it's more personal.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about the opening sentence of your email. This is crucial because it sets the tone for everything that follows. Sarah, what are some good ways to open a professional email?
The opening depends on the purpose of your email, but some standard phrases work well. If you're writing to someone for the first time, you might say, "I hope this email finds you well," or "I hope you're having a great week." These are polite and friendly.
Those are classic, though I have to say, "I hope this email finds you well" is so common that some people find it a bit generic. What are some alternatives?
You're right. Some alternatives could be, "Thank you for taking the time to read this email," or "I hope you had a wonderful weekend," if you're writing on a Monday. You could also be more specific, like, "It was great meeting you at the conference last week," or "Thank you for your prompt response to my previous email."
I love those. They feel more genuine and specific to the situation. Now, what if you're following up on a previous conversation or email?
Perfect timing for that question. Following up is a huge part of business communication. You might start with "following up on our conversation from last Tuesday," or "as per our phone call this morning," or "I wanted to circle back to the topic we discussed in our meeting." These phrases clearly connect your current email to a previous interaction.
Those are excellent, and I think this is a good moment to talk about the body of the email, the main content. Sarah, what's the key to writing a good email body?
The golden rule is to be clear, concise, and organized. Most professional emails should be able to fit on one screen without scrolling. People are busy and they appreciate emails that get to the point quickly. Start with the most important information first.
That's such an important point. I've received emails that were 3 or 4 paragraphs long before they got to the actual question or request. By that time, I'd lost track of what they wanted from me.
Exactly. So here's a good structure. First paragraph, state your purpose clearly. Second paragraph, provide necessary details or context. Third paragraph, make your specific request or call to action. That's it. 3 paragraphs maximum for most emails.
Love it. Can you give us an example of how this might look in a real email?
Sure. Let's say you're requesting a meeting with your manager. First paragraph, "I would like to schedule a meeting with you to discuss the progress of the XYZ project." Second paragraph, "We've completed the initial research phase, and I have some findings and recommendations I'd like to share with you. I estimate we'll need about 30 minutes for this discussion." Third paragraph, "Would you be available sometime this week? I'm flexible with timing and happy to work around your schedule."
That's perfect. It's clear, professional, and respectful of the other person's time. Now, what about the language we use in the body? Should it be formal or can it be more conversational?
This is where understanding your audience and company culture becomes important. In general, professional emails should avoid slang, emojis, and very casual expressions. However, they don't need to be stiff or overly formal either. You want to sound professional but also human.
Can you give us some examples of phrases to use and phrases to avoid?
Absolutely. Instead of saying, "I want you to send me the report," you'd say, "Could you please send me the report?" Or, "I would appreciate it if you could send me the report." The key is using polite, indirect language. Instead of "you need to fix this," say, "It would be helpful if this could be addressed," or "I was hoping we could resolve this issue."
Those softer, more polite versions sound so much better. What about making requests? That's something a lot of people struggle with.
Making requests politely is an art. Here are some useful phrases. Would it be possible to? I would appreciate it if you could. If you have time, could you please? Or I was wondering if you might be able to. These all soften your request and show respect for the other person's time and workload.
Those are gold. I'm going to add a few more. At your earliest convenience instead of ASAP, and when you have a moment instead of right now. These show that you understand the person is busy.
Excellent additions. Now, Johnny, let's talk about something that makes many people nervous, writing emails when there's a problem or when you need to deliver bad news.
Oh, this is so important. Nobody likes being the bearer of bad news, but it's inevitable in professional settings. Sarah, what's the best approach?
The key is to be honest, direct, but diplomatic. Start by acknowledging the issue, then explain what happened, and finally offer a solution or next steps. For example, I wanted to inform you that we've encountered a delay with the project. Due to unexpected technical issues, we'll need an additional week to complete the work. I've already contacted our technical team and they're working on a solution. I'll keep you updated on our progress daily.
That's a great template. You're not making excuses, you're being transparent, and you're showing that you're actively working on a solution. What about when you need to disagree with someone professionally?
Disagreeing professionally is definitely an art. You never want to say, "you're wrong," or "that's a bad idea." Instead, use phrases like, "I see your point, however, I have a different perspective," or "that's an interesting approach, though I wonder if we might also consider," or "I appreciate your suggestion, and I'd like to propose an alternative."
Those are so diplomatic. You're acknowledging the other person's viewpoint before presenting your own. This is emotional intelligence in action, right?
Exactly. It's about respecting different opinions while still contributing your own thoughts. Now, let's move on to closing your email. This is just as important as the opening.
Yes, so what are the standard ways to close a professional email?
The most common closings are best regards, kind regards, sincerely, and best wishes. These are all safe and appropriate for most professional situations. Sincerely is the most formal, while best regards is slightly more casual but still professional.
What about just thanks or best? I see those a lot in modern business emails.
Those are becoming more common, especially in ongoing email conversations or in less formal industries. Thanks works well when someone is doing something for you. Just best is very casual, and I'd recommend using it only with colleagues you know well. For most situations, especially first-time emails or formal contexts, stick with the full phrases like best regards.
Good advice. Now, before you sign your name, is there anything else you should include?
Yes, if you need a response or action from the person, make it clear. You might write, "I look forward to hearing from you," or "Please let me know if you have any questions," or "I'd appreciate your feedback by Friday." This creates a clear call to action.
Perfect. And then comes the signature. Sarah, what should a professional email signature include?
A good email signature should include your full name, your job title, your company name, and contact information, like your phone number. You can also include your company website and maybe your LinkedIn profile if relevant. Keep it clean and not too cluttered with images or quotes.
Absolutely. I've seen some signatures that are so long and filled with graphics that they're bigger than the actual email message.
That's definitely overkill. Simple and professional is the way to go. Now, Johnny, let's talk about some common mistakes people make in professional emails.
Oh yes, this is crucial. What's the biggest mistake you see?
The number one mistake is not proofreading. Typos, grammar errors, and spelling mistakes in a professional email can make you look careless. Always read your email at least once before hitting send. Better yet, read it out loud. You'll catch errors you might miss when reading silently.
So true. What else?
Using the wrong tone is a big one. Sometimes people try to be funny or use sarcasm in emails and it doesn't translate well. What seems funny in your head might seem rude or confusing in writing. When in doubt, keep it straightforward and professional.
I'd add that replying to all when you should only reply to one person is a common mistake. It clutters everyone's inbox with information they don't need.
Oh, that's a great point. And the opposite is also true. Sometimes people forget to copy someone who should be in the loop. Before sending, always check your recipient list carefully.
What about email length? We touched on this earlier, but let's emphasize it again.
Yes, keeping emails concise is so important. If your email is turning into a novel, that's a sign you should probably schedule a meeting or phone call instead. Emails are for clear, brief communication. If something requires a lot of back and forth discussion, pick up the phone.
Excellent point. Now, let's talk about response time. Sarah, how quickly should someone respond to a professional email?
Generally, within 24 hours is considered good practice during business days. If you can't provide a full response in that time, at least send a quick acknowledgement like, "Thank you for your email, I'm looking into this and will get back to you by Thursday."
That's such good advice. It shows you're on top of things even if you don't have all the answers yet. Now, what about the use of attachments?
When sending attachments, always mention them in the body of your email. Say something like, "Please find the attached report," or "I've attached the document you requested." This helps ensure the recipient knows to look for it. Also, make sure your file names are professional and descriptive, not something like final version 2 really final version.docx.
We've all been guilty of that at some point. Name your files clearly, like Q4 Sales Report 2024.pdf, so people know exactly what they're opening.
Exactly. Now, let's discuss something that's become more relevant, email etiquette when working remotely or across different time zones.
This is so relevant right now. What should people keep in mind?
When working across time zones, always include the time zone when scheduling things. Instead of saying, "Let's meet at 3 p.m., say, "Let's meet at 3 p.m. EST," or whatever your time zone is. Also, be mindful of when you send emails. If you're working late, but your colleague is in a different time zone where it's already evening, they might feel pressure to respond immediately.
Great point. Most email platforms now have a schedule send feature. You can write your email at 10 p.m., but schedule it to send at 9 a.m. the next day, so you're not bothering people outside work hours.
That's a fantastic feature. Now, Johnny, let's talk about specific types of professional emails. The first one is the introduction email. How do you introduce yourself professionally via email?
This is important when networking or reaching out to someone new. Start by explaining who you are and why you're reaching out. Be brief and clear about your purpose. For example, "My name is Johnny Smith, and I'm a marketing manager at ABC Company. I came across your article on digital marketing trends and found your insights very valuable. I'd love to connect and perhaps discuss potential collaboration opportunities."
Perfect example. You've identified yourself, explained how you found them, complimented their work, and stated your purpose. That's the formula for a good introduction email. What about thank you emails?
Thank you emails are so important and often overlooked. After a job interview, after someone helps you, after a business meeting, these are all times when a thank you email is appropriate and appreciated.
Absolutely. A thank you email should be sent within 24 hours. Keep it brief. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me today. I enjoyed our discussion about the marketing position and learning more about your team. I'm very excited about the opportunity and look forward to hearing from you.
Simple but effective. Now, what about apology emails? These can be tricky.
Apology emails require humility and honesty. Don't make excuses, but do take responsibility. For example, "I apologize for missing our meeting yesterday. I had an unexpected situation arise, but I should have communicated with you sooner. I take full responsibility for this oversight. Could we please reschedule? I'm available anytime this week at your convenience."
That shows maturity and professionalism. You've apologized, taken responsibility, and offered a solution. Those three elements are key in any apology email.
Exactly. Now, before we wrap up, let's give our viewers some final tips for mastering professional email writing.
Great idea. My first tip is to create templates for common emails you send. If you frequently send meeting requests, introduction emails, or follow-ups, having a template saves time and ensures consistency.
Love that. My tip is to use the 24-hour rule for emotional emails. If you're upset or frustrated about something, write the email if you need to, but save it as a draft and come back to it the next day. You'll almost always rewrite it to be more professional and less emotional.
That's wisdom right there. I'd also say, when in doubt, Err on the side of being more formal rather than less. You can always become more casual as a relationship develops, but starting too casually can create a bad impression.
Excellent advice. And here's mine. Read examples of good professional emails. Learn from colleagues who write well or look at business writing guides online. The more good examples you see, the better your own writing becomes.
Perfect. And my final tip is practice, practice, practice. Like any skill, email writing improves with time and experience. Don't be afraid to ask a trusted colleague or mentor to review important emails before you send them.
These are all fantastic tips. I think our viewers now have everything they need to write clear, professional, effective emails that will help them succeed in their careers.
Absolutely. Remember, everyone, professional email writing is a skill that will serve you throughout your entire career, no matter what industry you're in. It's how you build relationships, convey information, and represent yourself professionally.
And the great news is that once you learn these patterns and phrases, it becomes second nature. You'll stop stressing about every email and start communicating with confidence.
So true. Well, everyone, that's our lesson on professional email writing. I hope you found this valuable and that you'll use these techniques in your own business communication.
We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below with any questions about professional email writing or share an email writing challenge you're facing, and we'll try to help.
And don't forget to subscribe to the Native Speakers channel for more native English learning content. We post new videos every week to help you improve your English in practical, real-world situations.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time, keep practicing and keep improving your English.
See you in the next video. Happy emailing!